My career as a civil engineer started when I was age 16 in a bridge design office and completed an ONC and an HNC in civil engineering. Went on to study civil engineering at the University of Durham. I commissioned into the Royal Air Force in 2008 and most of my time has been spent on infrastructure project management and delivery, both at home and overseas. These have ranged from down in the South Atlantic in the Falkland Islands to across the Middle East in a number of locations. And one of the most prestigious projects that I worked on was the design and construction of a new repatriation centre for the repatriation of fallen servicemen and women from overseas operations.
The Armed Forces values those that are registered with professional institutions very highly. I think certainly since the Haddon Cave report in 2009, Defence has recognised that there are a number of assignments within Defence where we can usefully use the skills of registered professionals. I remember David certainly in the early years as a bright and aspirant incorporated engineer, and I guess what I've seen over the time is that David's skills have matured, his competence as an engineer has grown, and I've seen David now operating at the chartered engineer level.
When I first started work as a technician, I always looked up to the chartered engineers that I worked for and always one day hoped that I would be a chartered engineer myself. Along the way I've been an incorporated engineer, which I achieved in 2010, and then via the technical report route I became a chartered engineer. The advice that I would give to anyone wishing to become a professionally qualified engineer is that whilst it may seem a long, winding road to get to that pinnacle in your professional career, the experience that you'll gain along the way and the recognition that you'll get from your peers by having those qualifications will be really important. The benefits once you've completed these qualifications and you receive your letter from the Engineering Council or your professional institution to say that you become a chartered engineer is probably the most rewarding career moments you will ever have.
People are motivated by three things: reward, job satisfaction and progression. Professional registration underpins progression, and that means that you have a qualification structure that trains graduates, that trains apprentices. You have a qualification structure that once somebody becomes professionally qualified, they then go on to keep wanting to learn, wanting to develop thereafter. And so the benefit to an employer for a very small part of their salary budget is to deliver a coherent framework that motivates their staff to develop.
My professional registration has allowed me to work on a number of projects which, if I hadn't had that qualification, I would not have been considered to work on. Now that I've become a chartered engineer, I'm looking forward to going on to mentor other young engineers in their journey to become professionally qualified. In addition to this, I'm also hoping to become a professional reviewer with the Institution of Civil Engineers, particularly encouraging incorporated engineers and engineering technicians to achieve professional registration.